What is up, Big Red Nation? Welcome to the USC game preview episode right here on the Big Red Nation channel. Go Big Red. It is time. It is blackout week. Just got this jersey in yesterday. Cannot wait to wear this Saturday night. Hopefully, everybody, no matter where you're at, you are blacking out this week because it is blackout week. Yeah, I'm excited for it all, man. Where to begin, right? There's so many things that happened today. I guess let's just go ahead and talk about the biggest news of the day. And that is that Nebraska is keeping Coach Rhule. He is signing an extension, 2 years that keeps him through 2032. And look, I've seen a lot of different takes on this on online, both from national media to local fans to everything. And you can tell the people that did not actually look into it and look at what this extension is actually comprised of. But this is just a beautiful deal, to be honest with you, by Troy Dannon. It shows commitment. Okay, number one, that's what this extension was mainly for. Okay, it was to show commitment, not only for any of the money people, the boosters, to the incoming recruits. I mean, right now, Matt Rhule for 2027 has got, I think, either number 2 or 3. It's a top 5 recruiting class as of right now for 2027. And the possibility of this class, where he's going with this and who he could pull in, could be, it could finish in a top 3, top 5 recruiting class for 27. But he has to show commitment. And that's what this does. Because you can look at what this whole thing is comprised of. And one of the bigger things is the fact that before this extension, if Matt Rhule were to have left and gone to Penn State or taken any other job, the school that was taking him or him would only owe the school $5 million. That has now been increased to $15 million. His buyout has also increased a little bit if we were to fire him. But I fully believe that this is just showing full commitment from both sides, that Coach Rhule is here to stay. It's his base salary has not really increased, but it has increased by what they're calling escalators. So basically, the bonuses. If he takes us to the college football playoff, it goes up $1 million. Right? If he wins this national championship, it goes up so much. A conference championship, it goes up so much. So this is all now performance-based escalators that are added in. He'll get rewarded if he does well. And the fact that they allowed, that Matt Rhule and his team allowed the if you were to leave money, let that get increased by $10 million. That's a good chunk. I know 15, you see 15 compared to if we fired him, we'd have to pay him like 50, 60 million or whatever it is now. There's obviously a huge gap there, but for coaches to leave, it's usually never that much. But to go up 10 million is quite a bit from 5. So again, I think what this means, full blown, is that this shows commitment, and I think this commitment needed to come in. So then the boosters and all the money people, Matt Rhule said in that press conference that he wants to be able to spend money and get money to get that $30-40 million roster in to compete with the Ohio States, the Oregons, the Alabamas, the Georgias, all that stuff. I think also probably what was part of this deal is the commitment to go through with things like the stadium renovation. I think all these things were very important to Matt Rhule. And I think Troy Dannon, and I think Matt wouldn't have signed this extension necessarily if he didn't feel confident that those things were going to come. And so I think what this means for the future of Husker football is great things are ahead. I think we're going to finally start acting like the big boy program that we are. And I think finally the boosters are going to put up the money to act like we're the big boy program that we are. It's, I think, bright lights and, push your shades on because the future's bright kind of thing going on for Nebraska football. I look for them to really hit the portal really hard and really cement themselves with one of the top rosters going into next season. I do believe that. I think it's going to be very interesting to see just how hard they go on the portal after some people. But that's the portal, all that stuff, man. That's so far away from right now. Right now, we got to concentrate on the here and now. This week, USC. It is blackout week. Another exciting thing about besides the blackout stuff, everybody on social media has blacked out their profiles. I've got my Big Red Nation X account blacked out. I never did do it on here on YouTube. Probably should have done that. Didn't think about that. But as you can see in the thumbnail, though, put the blackout stuff on there. I got my blackout jersey, got my blackout hat. I'm going to be ready to go Saturday night, sitting here in St. Louis, Missouri, watching it from home. But hey, you're only far away from home where your heart is, right? You always got to, no matter where you're from, act like you're there anyway, right? The team can feel the aura. Okay, that's why I'm still wearing black even from home. But I cannot wait for this game, man. Just thinking about trying to look up the stats for this game and trying to think of how I want to break this game down. And to be honest with you, just the more and more I looked at things and watched things and, started looking at different stats and records and watching, other podcasts and them even talk about it, I'm not going to break it down. We're not really going to look at stats for this game because, to be honest with you, I don't know if the stats are going to matter. Because, you look at USC, right? And USC has got a very good, high prolific offense this year. It's got a very typical Lincoln Riley style offense. It's one of the top in the nation. They've got athletes all over the field. Their defense has gotten a lot better from what it's been since he's been at USC. But they're especially the last two seasons, USC's team is a very different team on the road, especially whenever they have to go to time zones over. Then you've got Nebraska. Nebraska is 0 for the last 28 against ranked teams. And USC got ranked this weekend after not playing. I think they're ranked 23rd in the nation. Nebraska doesn't do too well in night games on big stages. They kind of broke that, or they kind of got that monkey off their back, I guess, a little bit last year whenever we beat Colorado. But even then, that Colorado team is not the same as this USC team. This USC team is much better. Then you look at things like USC doesn't do very good in the cold. And Nebraska could get down into the 30s, I believe, especially once the sun goes down, which pretty much, the game starts at 6:30. Almost the whole game's going to be in the dark. It's going to be cold, probably a little windy, could affect them. So it's one of those things like you look at the stats, you look on paper, and you start saying, yeah, USC probably should. And then the kind of the inside the numbers, the different context, the nuance of it all. And somebody has got to break these bad streaks, right? It's either going to be Nebraska, who's going to finally beat a ranked team, who's finally going to show up when the stage is bright, or USC's finally going to, win whenever they go on the road in a game like this. Now, I know earlier in the year they did beat Purdue on the road in Indiana, but that's just kind of, it's a very different situation, obviously, right? Purdue's not that very good. So it's just kind of one of those things. Like, who knows? Maybe that was the monkey off their back. Maybe they're going to come back and they're just going to demolish us. Who knows? But the fact is I really don't know. And no matter how much I look at the stats, there's still like these other little things that are pulling me in different directions and not really knowing exactly which way I want to go or if these stats even matter for certain things. You know, USC is now down to a walk-on running back who is still, or no, I guess was a walk-on, but now it's a true freshman. They got King Miller is a true freshman. But they're down to like their fourth guy running back. Still pretty good, but it's not their starters that were really good. You look at their passing attack, Makai Lemon, Ja'Cory Lane, all those guys are very good, top notch. Could be first, second round draft picks eventually whenever they happen to go in the draft. Not sure what year they are. So our secondary is going to have their work cut out for them. I think this is easily the best passing attack they have faced all year. So the task is very tall for those guys to live up to what they've been, which is still a top 1 or 2 passing defense in the country. We're going to have to really get some pressure on Jordan Maeva. Dial up some pressures, dial up some blitzes, can try to get him a little confused, get him feeling like he's got to hurry because he can throw interceptions. I know he hasn't really done a whole lot this year. But, I think he is a guy that if he starts feeling rushed, he will make a mistake. You just got to put him in that situation. We got to protect Dylan. Huge. I mean, that's going to be huge in this game, protecting Dylan. And I think the best way to do it is kind of what we did against Maryland and against Northwestern. And that's heavy doses of Emmett Johnson and then quick passing, quickly developing passing plays. And try to hope that your wide receivers can go make a play, make a guy miss and make a play. I think Ja'Cory Barney, obviously Isaiah Hunter is huge in every game. I think Ja'Cory Barney, though, is that other guy that we got to get. One thing we can't do is get caught up in wanting to just go toe-to-toe, touchdown for touchdown, and get into in a high-scoring game. We just can't go get into a foot race with them like that. Got to slow it down. We've got to now be that Northwestern, that Minnesota, that Iowa team that slows the game down, shortens it up, is methodical, score. Whenever you get the ball, you got to score. Okay, no more going for 4th and 1 on the 2-yard line. No. Get the points. Get the 3. Move on. Keep the momentum going. Keep positivity on your side. And I believe if we can keep this game close, I think Dylan will do what he's always been doing all season long, and that is be clutch in the fourth quarter and get the drives that is needed by the end of the game. That is definitely what I think can happen. Whenever I was going through my season preview, I picked this game to be a loss. And to be honest with you, I don't know. Really, again, like I said, when I'm going through all this, I'm not sure where I want to go with like how I want to think about this game. I'm not sure really exactly. I can't. But I gotta admit that today, just seeing all the stuff, the contract extension for Rhule, the blackout stuff, they're painting the field black. I don't know. There's some emotions going right now that really want to pull me to say that Nebraska is going to win this game. But I just can't fully necessarily dive into that either. So I don't know, man. I think for sure though, game plan wise, in order to beat USC, if let's just go down that road, right? If we are going to beat USC, I think the cold is definitely going to play a little bit of a factor. And if it is cold, then how can you kind of maximize that factor really benefiting you? Again, running the ball, keeping their offense on the sideline. The longer an offense, because a lot of offenses, it's rhythm, right? It's momentum and it's rhythm in offense. Whenever you can kind of get warm and loose and feel it, and you can kind of get a groove, that's offense. That's how offense stays successful. How can we use the cold to maximize the benefit for us as a football team? And if you can see on the field and methodically, slowly keep going against their defense, keep their offense on the sideline, what's their offense doing? Getting cold. Not only are they getting cold figuratively, they're literally getting cold. And then your joints get kind of tight, right? You're not moving as fast now on the football field because you're just cold. Like your body, your muscles are tight. You're just not getting going. Your joints are all tight. Now that kind of helps our defense a little bit. Maybe our defense now can get out there and boom, 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 do some things. Not only that, then if our offense is constantly on the field, their defense is getting tired. And not only that, whenever it gets cold, the hits hurt just a tad bit more, right? So then they feel kind of beat up. Not only do they feel beat up, they feel tired. Not only that, their body clock's all messed up, right? They've had to drive, or they had to fly very far across the country, and they got to play in this game. Right now, mindset wise, nationally, they could be feeling themselves because everybody's saying, well, yeah, USC's gonna kill Nebraska. I mean, they're 6.5, 7.5 point favorites. Nebraska can be focused. Not only that, they can be really focused because now they know that their coach is sticking around. All those top-notch recruits that are going to be on campus this weekend, they feel good about this now. They're seeing all these cool things. A lot of people kind of laugh and scoff at the whole like jersey thing and the changing up the colors and all that stuff. Whenever you're a player, and especially like a young kid, these different things are kind of, it's not the only motivating factor, but it's a nice little like something different for one game that just kind of gets you extra juiced, kind of gets you. It can take you from a fifth gear to a sixth gear. Without you even really like realizing it. Matter a little bit. It's not just kind of whatever, who cares? Jerseys don't matter. Sure, they don't necessarily fully matter. It's not the deciding factors on what happens in a game, no doubt. But sometimes it can give you a little extra juice, have a little fun with it. And they're making it a big deal. It's not even just the fact that they're changing the jerseys, right? They social media all week for Nebraska's, official X, all their different social media accounts, all black. All their posts are in all black and white. They put up black flags. Like I said, they're repainting the field black. They're really diving into this to make this a legit thing. And that's where and the atmosphere around campus has got to be, especially at least for the football team, it just reminds you every day it's going to get you juiced. It's got you jacked up, ready to go. Got you motivated, right? They want to finally go out there and prove that they belong, that they want to prove that their coach is one of the best coaches out there, right? I mean, these are all the different motivational things that are probably going into the team right now. And that gives you a little bit of an upper hand over a team that's just out there, whatever. It's just another game. We just got done talking about couple weeks ago with that Minnesota game. Nebraska kind of went into it thinking it's just another game. Minnesota went into it thinking, no, this means a lot. We want to go out there and do something. Look what happened, right? And now going into this game, there's not all, but there's a chunk of Husker fans out there that are like, "Oh, we just need to take it like it's another game." Well, what happened whenever that happened against Minnesota, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we always say these certain things work for other teams whenever they end up beating us, but whenever we're trying to do those type of things going into another game, it's, "Oh, you know what? This is two helmets. You know, it's a helmet game. It should just be two regular uniforms out there, and it doesn't matter anyway. It's not like it's going to help anybody." Well, maybe because you thought it did for this team 2 weeks ago. So, it's just, I think it's one of those things that it's going to help. Is it again a huge factor? No, I'm not saying that. I don't think it's, if we win on Saturday, I don't think it's because of the jerseys. I'm thinking that the jerseys and just the whole thing, that all this, cause for the whole week, maybe help some motivational part of it. But I don't think it necessarily is going to change everything that happens on the field. But who knows? Maybe they come out and they really stay focused, and they just come out and play one of the best games of the whole season. You never know. These things can happen. Um. So yeah, I don't know. Get Man. I guess we'll go ahead. I've stalled off enough. I guess we'll go ahead, get in some predictions. I will say I do think we have another big play on special teams, whether it be like a block punt, block field goal, a huge return, or a return for a touchdown of some sort, whether it's punt or kick. Special team plays, I do think will happen in this game. I'm going to say we are going to run Emmett about 25 times. And I think it needs to be that too. I think we need to run Emmett about 25-ish times or so. So I think he's going to get about 25 carries. I think he's going to rush for 110 yards. I would look for Luke Lindenmeyer to have a big game in this game. And I'm going to say Ja'Cory Barney is going to be the other guy that's going to have a big game in this. Going to have a big game. On the defensive side of the ball, I think Sierra Wright's going to come out and have a good game because he did last year, and I think it's just something that he really looks forward to. Look out for Williams Winery. I think him and Deshaun McCullough, actually both those guys, I think are going to come in this game and cause some pressures. I don't know how many sacks or anything like that, but I think they will cause a little bit of havoc in there, get some pressure, and maybe cause a couple mistakes by Maeva. Score the winner. I really don't know where I want to go with this because I do not want to. All right, so here's where I'm really struggling, guys, to be honest with you. Just emotionally, the way that this week's gone, the way today's gone, it feels like it's setting up for Nebraska to win this game and play well. But I almost don't want to predict that to jinx it. That's kind of where I'm at. Because I'm not going to lie, right now in my heart, I'm saying Nebraska 35, USC 21. But I'm going to go with my official prediction to be in aligned with my preseason predictions, and because of what Nebraska has done in the past in these situations. and try to go toe to toe, shot for shot with USC, and Nebraska will lose 45-35. That's an unfortunate prediction, but you heard my other thoughts. So if that comes to fruition on Saturday night, I was also right. So yeah, I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too. Okay. Um. So yeah. Yep. I know this is kind of a short one. But hey, short ones are just fine. You know, I got what I needed out there. Uh, there's not much because really, to be honest, like I said, there's not much to look at. You look at the stats, USC is gonna just rout us if you just look at the stats and compare them. Where they rank, where we rank, all that stuff. But again, then you start looking right, into the context of these stats. And their whole, you know, um, non-conference was, well, besides Notre Dame, obviously Notre Dame's a good non-conference opponent. But, it's Missouri State. It was I can't remember the other one, but it was basically the same equivalent to Akron and Houston Christian. Okay, so you take those games out, their stats look very different. Our stats look very different. Then you look at how they play on the road whenever they have to travel really far, and their stats really drop. Nebraska doesn't really have that type of differential between their road and home in their stats. So again, there's just so many different things that could come into play on Saturday night. Then you look at the weather, and they don't play well in weather. We haven't beat USC. We don't beat unranked teams. So we don't beat unranked. We don't beat ranked teams. So there's so many different things at play here that I could sit here and go through all these different things and look at all these different games. But I just think it's going to be different Saturday night. So my hope, again, is a good performance. Nebraska finally kind of says, hey, no, we're for real. That Minnesota game was a fluke. We're for real. We're here. We're going to keep fighting till the end of this season, and we're going to try to get ourselves back into this playoff conversation. And it started tonight by winning this game. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. I'm going to be rooting for Big Red, Big Black all game long. That is my hope, but my official prediction, I do think it's going to be USC 45-35. But Big Red Nation, let's keep our hopes up. Let's stay positive about this game. Let's root them on. Wear your black. Get the blackout going. Even if you're not at the game. If you're at the game, please just wear something black. I mean, it's going to be cold. Most of us have got black coats. Just put on a black coat or black sweatshirt. Don't act like black isn't part of our history, okay? We got the black shirt defense. I know it might not be an official school color, but it's a part of our tradition. It's a part of our historical program. Just wear black. It is A-okay to wear one game, okay? Just wear black to the game, everybody. For us at home, have fun with it. Put on the black. I'm going to. Obviously, I've got it right now. So I'm stoked about it. I think this jersey is actually pretty cool. I do like it a lot. Whenever I play NCAA, I throw on the blacks all the time. But yeah, go Big Red. Saturday night, 6:30. It's going to be cold. It's going to be great. I really hope my prediction is wrong. I hope my other hopeful prediction is correct. Go Big Red. If we do win, man, it's going to be a party, and I will go live right after the game and have a few beers with everybody and just be in such joy. If they don't, I will probably do something on Sunday as a review and go over it. But until then, guys, go Big Red as always, and we will see you next.